Okay, you were live.
Okay, great. Well, thanks everyone for joining us today for the Hyperledger Challenge 2022. And we're going to have a great group of speakers today. We have Alfonso joining us, Arun joining us, and we have Andrea joining us. And we're going to talk a little bit about Hyperledger Challenge 2022. This is a community-driven event for anyone who wants to engage with the challenge. And I also want to let you know that there's also the Hyperledger Mentorship Program, which is different than the challenge. And that's something that, David, if you want to mention anything about the Hyperledger Mentorship Program, feel free to do so. But that's another way that the community can engage with the leadership and get really good feedback around a project that they're interested in.
Yeah, thanks for that, John. I do need to drop in a minute, but let me just share a link and to let everybody know. So thank you for sharing about the mentorship program.
Great.
Here, I'm putting a link in the Zoom chat. If people are interested in learning more, it's an annual event that Hyperledger does. This year's program is just getting started. If you click on that weekend link, you can find out more. The current process right now is for anybody already in the community. If you want to be a mentor, we're accepting project proposals for ideas that you have that a mentee could work on and that you could support them with. So please take a look at that. If you're interested in being a mentor, note the deadline is coming up. It's March 9th. Then once those project submissions come in, there's then the application process to be a mentee, to get connected to one of those projects and receive mentorship. And then that will be, if you go to the wiki, you'll see the deadline for that, but that process will happen next. So it's a two-stage process. So similar to the challenge, but you know, a separate program. Thank you.
I'm going to rape you.
If people are interested, please. And John, you're set as host, so if you need to mute anybody,
Yeah. You know who doing that?
No, I'm not. It might be Leo.
Okay, we're going to remove Leon here.
John, I'm going to rape you.
Hey, yeah, that's not appropriate. Yeah, thank you for dealing with that, John.
Fuck you, bitch.
Okay, sorry about that interruption, but you know, when you have an open forum, you're going to have those types of disruptions on occasion. So Alfonso, if you want to go ahead and kick us off, that'd be great.
Thank you, John, and welcome everyone. This is an information session about the Hyperledger Challenge 2022. And I think it would be good, Andrea, if you tell us a bit of the story, how Hyperledger Challenge came to be.
I will. Thank you, Alfonso. By the way, sorry for some minor noises in the background. Sorry, but it's a critical time of the day for me. Just a story. I would love to get back to 2021. Actually, it all started there. Thanks to your chat that Alfonso and I have. So we decided to give the community a message for call to action, to join, to add all the states, join forces together. This call was called Breaking the Silence. And the message was given to the community on June 15th last year. We had a meeting with participants, cross-states participants, from supply chain sake and climate change sake, climate action sake, trade finance sake, capital market sake. So it was a community effort that aimed at delivering a sort of new way of interacting between states and deliver global solutions. In 2021, I and other members of the Hyperledger family, of the Hyperledger community, we joined forces, and we thought that one of the best ways to achieve the goal that we set.
I'm gonna.
Sorry, there's plenty of noises in the background. What's going on?
Yeah, we had another disruption there. Andreas, so
Yeah.
I removed him.
Sorry. So I was saying that one of the best ways for us to, let's say, strengthen the community and deliver global project was to go for challenge, where participants all over the community of Hyperledger can deliver their own solution based on Hyperledger frameworks, by the way, and contribute to the solving of global problems. Of course, this is all under the umbrella of what's going on globally in terms of initiatives within institutions at the global level. You might have heard of SDG, ESG, so that's the global framework our initiative fits in. So that's where we are now. We launched this challenge, and we expect good attendance and good projects to be partaken. So this is to give you an idea of what's going on during the last 20 months. And I'll leave it on to you, Alfonso, to start from this.
Sure. Then I would ask Arun, please. Arun and the India chapter has done a great work among many issues with the hyper hack, which is another previous work that we're building upon. Can you share, Arun, what you've done? I guess it's the past 2 years, 2021 and 2020. Am I correct?
That's right, Alfonso. So one of the reason that the event that Alfonso just mentioned about HyperHack was we wanted to increase awareness about Hyperledger technologies within the region here in India, and not just that, but we also wanted to increase the student participation more into these ecosystems. We observed that people are using technologies, people are building blockchain applications, products, but the contribution back to the community were not that as we expected from this region. So this was one of the areas that we wanted to close the gap, and we initiated HyperHack as one of the tools or one of the means of engaging more community members. And it turned out to be really good for us in a way that we could see encouragement going to the students community specifically, and not just students, but we also saw greater participation from mentors and subject matter experts who started willing to participate in more of such community activities. And eventually, the later version of the same event, which we had last year, it had much better response from the first year that we had. So again, when we were planning on continuing that legacy of having those events yearly, and as Andrea mentioned, we all came together late last year, and instead of making those efforts in silos, we started thinking towards what if we start building the same efforts, or all we wanted to do from all these regions were kind of the same goals. What if we do it for a global landscape, right? So that's when the thought also emerged. Yeah, thanks, Alfonso. I guess that.
Okay, thanks to you, Arun. Those two experiences were really, really great, and I can testify about it because I was a participant in 2021, and enjoyed it incredibly. What we want to do now is we thought that we could have a longer period of participation. And rather than having the traditional hackathon or tournament of very few hours or days, we're going over a 6 months period. And we call it a challenge. And the idea of the challenge is that we're aiming to start next year what we would like to call the marketplace for innovation, the Hyperledger marketplace for innovation, where proposals, mentors, members of Hyperledger Foundation could come together, not only to explore new ideas, but to help entrepreneurs incubate their ideas, but also come in contact with the market. So this is the story. We began with what India chapter did. We tried to bridge the silos, okay, get out of our little towers and work with the regional chapters that we have all over the world. And we're looking towards great success and eventually a marketplace for innovation. Without further ado, I put in the chat all four links, okay? And if I can share my screen, I can go quickly through them, okay? We have the main site of the Hyperledger Challenge, that it's a collaboration that goes from the 18th of January to the 2nd of August. And the idea is we have 3 rounds called ideate, prototype, and launch to develop innovations from ideas to sustainable solutions in several months. Innovators competing in the challenge would have access to training, mentors, and the Hyperledger community to support the development of their solution. We are committed to be a driving force to incorporate diversity, stability, inclusion, and innovators are greatly encouraged to consider those. Registrations are open. Just talk quickly about the time, themes, phases, and eligibility. I'm going to go very fast because you can always consult those sites. And because I'd like to have more discussion, okay? I'd like to have, we'd like to hear questions from you. Then we have the wiki page. For those of you that are new to our meetups, Hyperledger has a wiki for all the groups. And within that group, we have the Hyperledger Challenge page. And that's where you can get all the details, all the details, the eligibility requirements, how to get, if you're new to Hyperledger, how to get your Linux Foundation ID. And what are the prices, what are the prototype challenge, the launch, and the timeline. We are going until the 1st of March for submissions of ideas. Ideas are a general idea, okay? Then we shall evaluate submissions from March 1st, March 15, and then the prototype phase begins. It goes from March 15 until May the 10th, where the prototype ends. We have 2 weeks of evaluation, and then the prototype winners are announced. And May 24th, the launch begins, and it ends until July the 19th. We have July 19 to August 2nd, an evaluation, and we shall announce the challenge winners the 2nd of August. Everyone, it's open for everyone, okay? Any individual, teams of individuals, private entities, for-profit or non-for-profit, academic institutions, all are eligible to compete in the ideate challenge. There are forms. There's a form to fill up, okay? And basically, we ask for particular protection of intellectual rights in terms of license, of software and Creative Commons, and of course, the code of conduct. There is a form for mentors, whomever wants to help being a mentor, please go to the link that's in the chat and fill the form to be a mentor. If you want a more general description, there is a blog post in the community for the Hyperledger challenge. And I would stop sharing because I would like that we begin sharing, but sharing not screens, but sharing questions and comments, ideas, and suggestions. So I'll give the microphone back to you, John. I talk too much.
Oh, no, you did wonderful, Alfonso, and thanks for that running through the program. So I think really the questions that are going to come from the audience today are, what is the best way for them to engage with the people who are running the challenge, and what other resources would they have available to them based on, the different working groups that are represented here. And so, Andrea, maybe you want to talk a little bit about your special interest group and what kind of resources you can offer to anyone joining the challenge.
Thanks, John. Actually, the SIG that I'm sharing is about to be merged with another one. So it's no longer actually the Hyperledger Trade Finance SIG. Now it's called the Hyperledger Supply Chain and Trade Finance SIG. So the two SIGs got merged and the government joined forces. As for your question, what we can offer is a community that looks quite sound. We were deeply focused, and we are still deeply focused on both sides of the ocean. Actually, we cross geographies. So we are deeply based in the APAC region because of the past we used to join forces on the APAC region time, because digitization and trade finance is a major stand over there. So we have the full outlook of what's going on in that particular region of the world. We can also delve deep into the experiences of the supply chain as well. And we're teaming up, by the way, besides what's going on with the Hyperledger Challenge, onto collaboration effort, joint collaboration effort between trade finance, supply chain, and climate action SIG on specific projects that are being developed. So what we can offer is a kickstart, actually, and a privileged side on what we can do. If you look at the industry itself, John, the trade finance, such hybrid nature industry that crosses pathway with so many others. So all we can offer is a privileged look into what can be done to cross pathways and deliver global solutions. That's what we are doing. We keep starting, now we bring the flame of collaboration throughout the community.
Okay, perfect. And Arun, I know you serve on the technical steering committee and are heading up a lot of other initiatives around Hyperledger. So maybe you can talk a little bit about what types of resources you can offer to those people who want to participate in the challenge.
Sure, John. So this is really a collaborative effort across Hyperledger communities, right? So in terms of resources available, let's talk about different roles that you as an individual can participate in the event. So let's say if you are a person who comes in with a strong business domain expertise, and you come in with much of subject knowledge expertise that, let's say, a typical developer would not have, right? So here is an opportunity for you where you can propose a problem statement that you foresee, which requires collaboration across, let's say, different groups. So please do propose that problem statement to the Hyperledger Challenge. And even though you may not have sufficient, let's say, resources in terms of development efforts or the project planning, there is an opportunity where you can collaborate or you can invite additional members who then can join you. So now the second type of role that I'm talking about is you as an individual who is looking to partner with somebody else. You are a great developer. Let's say you know how to program, how to code. You want to get involved into this, but you don't have an idea. And how do you get involved, right? Yes, there is an opportunity in the event. So what we do probably is when these proposals do come in, we will open it up for those submitters. We will ask them, if you are looking for partners to build alongside with you in this challenge, then here are the people who are interested in building and taking it further. So please utilize their time and please accept them in your team if you would like to and start working with them, right? So that's an another individual contributor role. Now, the third option is where you already have a team or you may already have an idea that you want to work on. And I guess that's where we provide you bridging expertise from the community. So we have really great set of mentors who have already signed up from across the globe, who are ready to spend their time and help you out in your journey through this 6 months phase. So we will start engaging them with you or your team as soon as the ideation phases evaluations are done. And when you start prototyping, that's when you will have your mentors working alongside. And not just these, so the entire Hyperledger community, we have made sure that this information is reached to majority of maintainers or maximum that we could talk to. And everybody has expressed interest in helping out. So in case you get stuck with some of the projects, or in case you are facing issues and you need to know how to do certain things in certain projects, we will help you either directly bridging you to the maintainers from those projects, or the other option is if we see common set of questions coming in from particular area, we will organize learning sessions or let's say workshop sessions on those projects. So this is the plan of how we plan to continuously engage the larger community with the participants through the event. And I'm sure if you have additional ways of engagement and if you have more ideas, we always welcome your suggestions. And thanks,
Okay,
John.
perfect. So what I'd like to do right now is just survey who's in attendance here and see if anyone would like to be a mentor first. And if so, either raise your hand or come off mute and let's see how we can get you engaged with the program.
I see Jason raising hand from long time. Maybe Jason has a question or something.
Okay, Jason, you want to come off mute and ask your question?
Yeah, hi, thanks. Yeah, I had a couple of questions, if you don't mind. So one was, is there anything in particular for this competition that Hyperledger is looking for? And what I mean by that is the idea to come up with open source projects that can be used with Hyperledger, or is it just any potential use case that we have an idea for? Or are there specific industries that you're looking to target or that stand a better chance, I guess, in the competition?
Yeah,
Yes,
go ahead,
Jason,
Alfonso.
for that first question, it has to relate to Hyperledger, okay? It has to have a connection with Hyperledger, okay? It is open source, and it's open to any of the frameworks, tools, libraries, special interest groups, working groups. It's open. It's not limited to any industry. It's open to all.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I just know I know Hyperledger has a few open source projects like the Marketplace and a couple others built on Sawtooth, and I didn't know if that's what this was for individual ideas that people wanted to come up with. So I appreciate that. I guess the other question I had too is if you happen to be a winner, is there any kind of ongoing relationship after the competition ends with the foundation, or is you're just kind of on your own at that point?
There is, Arun, if you want to go ahead.
I just want to talk about the bigger incentives, right? So from a community standpoint, I know we recognize this, that the winners should be recognized well. And so far we have been able to so Hyperledger will be giving stipend or scholarship to those winners and to participate in Hyperledger Global Forum event in person later this year, right? So that's probably one of the bigger incentive. Now, apart from those incentives, the other incentives available are, so top teams will be getting, again, scholarship to get certified against some of the Hyperledger or the Linux Foundation offered Hyperledger programs, such as CHFD or CHFA, which you are aware of already. And apart from these, we are in talks with certain other companies, and more information will be laid out in next few days. Alfonso, do you want to take that part?
Yes, and also there are two possibilities for the winner, depending on what the idea is about. Okay, one is for Hyperledger Foundation to present the project for a crowdfunding opportunity. And the other one is internally, that it be considered as a project for the Hyperledger Labs. Okay, so there are the awards that Arun was talking about, plus the crowdfunding and access to the labs.
I see the crowdfunding to be the biggest incentive of all. So you get, if you go through all the phases, then we will help you from the Hyperledger Challenge community, right, to set up your own crowdfunding project through the Linux Foundation. And so we want you to grow your community further. We don't want you to stop building the product just after the event. We in fact want you to further build it and attract more contributions to your project through the continued engagement model. And there are a few other things which we are looking into. For instance, if the project really is good proposal and we think that it requires additional attention, more contributors to dive in from the beginning, there is an opportunity that the same project may also be applied at Hyperledger Mentorship program, right? So that door is also open. Like, we can consider that as a proposal as well for mentorship program. So if you make a proposal to challenge program, and if that requires additional developers, there is a possibility through the mentorship program as well. And
Cool,
we did not
fantastic.
cover, sorry, we did not cover some of the other benefits or other prizes that are being offered because they are still under discussion. But participants do get, let's say, if they want a cloud platform to play around their deployments, or if they need blockchain as a service offering where they can deploy something and try out their prototypes, we are in engagement with some of the companies to get that finalized as well. That's why I said like more information will be coming in later this week, and we will make sure that these things happen before the prototype phase begins.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you very much.
Perfect, Arun. That was a great description. One thing I think that's important here is Arun also posted that Hyperledger has now adopted Discord for their communications chat. And so if anyone hasn't already joined the Hyperledger Discord, please do so. And then there's a channel in there for the Hyperledger Challenge. And Arun has gracefully put that into the chat here. And I appreciate that. One other question I see coming through on the chat is talking about office hours for the session and being able to talk with the teams and experts. So who from the team would like to take the office hours question? Okay, I'm gonna go to Alfonso for that. Alfonso,
Okay.
Participants to be able to reach out to the experts.
We haven't thought about that proposal. I mean, to have, like, you know, an office with office hours for questions to be solved. We thought to have mentors, okay, and to connect with the different communities, okay. And so that's what we have thought. But if this is a suggestion that you think should be considered, well, make a proposal. What we're trying to do is we're trying to bring together our communities all over the world. Okay, with the Latin American chapter, in my case, the Indian, Italy, all the groups, and connect among ourselves, and through our community, interact with Hyperledger at Hyperledger Foundation. Okay, that's my my honest response. We don't have it. We thought something else, but we're open to suggestions.
Okay, perfect.
There's another hand raised, John,
Okay, great.
a
Who?
while ago.
Go ahead. If you've had your hand raised, come off mute and go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, hey, John, this is Michael Novak. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Great to catch up with you.
Yeah, we haven't seen you for a while. So yeah, this sounds exciting. I'm certainly interested in volunteering to mentor. I think Alfonso may have answered the question, but has there been any consideration for a way for the mentors to collaborate? So if they're working with a group that has a question that may be common amongst the different projects, the mentors can communicate and say, hey, have you guys heard this? What was your answer to it? This is an issue I have as well. Sharing of information between mentors.
We just got Discord. Okay. Hyperledger migrated from Rocket Chat to Discord. It's just beginning. Okay. So the way that we can take your suggestion, which is very good, is that we could open a channel for mentors and broad Q&As. Okay.
Or even just a keyword too, right? Just hash mark mentor or something. So I could do a search and say, oh, here are the questions the mentors have about the issue.
It's a very good idea. Thank you for proposing it.
I got it from John. John gave it to me.
Well, that's what the community is for, and friends.
Sure. No, I think the main thing is, Mike, you bring up a great point there, is just there might be a need for a mentors only channel, and it might be a private channel of anyone who's a mentor, just to kind of address any of the challenges that the Hyperledger Challenge group is bringing forth. So
and support the mentors. I mean, not even just the issues, but organization.
Sure. No, that's a great point, great input. Glad to hear that you're interested in being a mentor. And really, I think that's one of the things I want to kind of get out of the way first is thanks for volunteering there. Do we have any other people on the call that would be interested in being a mentor as well?
Hi, my name is Ramraj. Actually, I'm trying to fill the form for the mentor, but one of the question is I'm not sure what technical areas and the products as a mentor within. I'm just trying to keep. Is it possible to open that one because I have to select one specific thing right now? Without, I cannot move. I mean, is there any? Do I need to really check that specific product within the Hyperledger, or is there any option like open? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I guess I'll defer that one to
Okay.
Alfonso. Is there any specific restrictions around what they can choose, or is it pretty much open-ended?
Open-ended. Okay, open-ended. And if there's something else that should be included in the format, Ramraj, please let us know. This is a collective effort. Okay. So all suggestions are welcome.
Yeah, and the more we try to deliver a harmonized solution in cross-discipline, the better it is. That's my personal invitation to think behind, well beyond the silos, well beyond the barriers between disciplines.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great, Ramja. Is there any other person on the call that would like to also participate as a mentor in this Hyperledger 2022 challenge?
There are two hands raised, Francisco and Anil.
Okay, Francisco, you want to go first?
Hi, yeah, I'm sorry I joined late to this meeting, but I'm interested in finding your group in Discord. Can you tell me what group that is and what you guys called?
Yeah, and Arun posted that in the chat. I don't know if you've seen that in the chat.
Yes, right. you could search for Hyperledger-challenge, and that's the group which we can use for collaboration.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and Francisco, I'm going to go ahead and just post that again, just taking Arun's posting and reposting it here. And then, Anil, do you want to go next?
Oh, yeah, sure. Thank you. Thank you. It was very informative for me. So the question I have, like, you guys have two types of participation, right? One for developers and one as mentors, right? So I find that I'm not in any of those scenarios. I don't have exposure to Hyperledger or so I can't participate, and I'm not a developer, but my background is that I have many years of IT experience, right? So do you guys have, would I be a good candidate to participate in this? Because I'm interested in this technology. So would that be a suitable, like, folks like me, are we good candidates to participate?
Yes, yes. Arun talked about the case of someone that has a business idea and doesn't know about developing, and the case of a developer that is looking for an interesting idea to support. Okay, but there are more, let's say, facets in those two groups. For instance, I was involved in similar exercises for United Nations a long time ago. And we'd like to talk about a third role, which is the role of communication, of creating communities, okay, of helping marketing, okay. Those three general roles always make for a great team. If there's a great idea that is well communicated and well built technically and market in a sensible way, well, then you have a winning team, okay? When you say, Anil, that you are been in IT for a long time and following with the bridging the silos concept, Hyperledger Latin America just had a first session with CNCF, which is another foundation of the Linux Foundation, which is the Cloud Native Computing Foundation. And well, those guys know a lot of things that I suffer when I try to deploy my first little fabric chain. Okay, so you expertise is what matters. It's expertise in different areas with a lot of enthusiasm, and bright eyes, and really a strong heart for your proposal, and making a team. Okay, that's something that we've seen as successful in the past. I'm not canceling that there's an individual that is extremely bright, clear mind, a lot of vision, and he comes and even says, listen, Hyperledger, you haven't thought of this, and I want to propose it to you. Great, welcome.
Yeah, so I think that Hyperledger is an open and inclusive community. So if you want to maybe collaborate on a team that's with a developer team, I think that'd be a good role for you. Or alternatively, if you wanted to be an assistant to one of the mentors and really, just help out wherever you could to, further along their mentorship of anyone who joins the program, that'd be great as well. Okay.
Great idea, John. Great idea. Yeah. Someone to support the mentors.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think either side of that coin works, and it just depends on if you want to help out a team that's developing a project, or if you want to help out a mentor with taking care of, some follow-up or different project aspects that they need. Okay, great. Let's see. Anyone else want to raise their hand about the mentor side of the equation at this point?
There's another hand raised, admin.
Okay, you want to come off mute and ask your question? Okay, sounds
Hello?
good.
Hello?
Yep.
Okay, hi. Yeah, I didn't have a question about the mentorship. I just had a question about being a prospective mentee. So I'll probably just wait until you're addressing questions for mentees, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And what I want to do is just make sure that we cover all the mentors who may have an interest in either being a mentor themselves or being an assistant to a mentor, as we just talked about.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, if there's not any other questions regarding the mentor side of the equation,
So
let's go
John,
ahead
I
and
see, sorry, I see a couple of questions on chat channel. So Elizabeth
great.
has asked,
let's address those. Arun, if you want to jump in and just address them, that'd be great.
so Elizabeth Green, if you want to unmute yourself and ask that question. So I read the question as, if any contributing corporations, including Accenture, adopt and develop your project for you, how is that another benefit for contribution? So can you elaborate that question or clarify that question?
So a contributor contributes their idea and starts developing it, and then Accenture or somebody takes off on it and says, let's turn this into a product that we can sell. What is the legal contract that requires some kind of consideration to the person who gave the idea and started developing?
We have 2 licenses in the initial requirements. One is an Apache license for the software, which is open source. And I always suggest that even before presenting or submitting any form, there is a Creative Commons license also for the idea itself.
Okay, and so basically what Alfonso's talking about is just, this is an open source community, so when working on these projects, assume it's going to be part of the open source philosophy. Okay, Arun, next question that you have in the chat there that you think is relevant? Some of them look like they're talking about other seminars coming up, like NFTs and other things like that. But that's really, if somebody wanted to work on an NFT project, I guess the way I would position that is that would be something that would be available to them, as long as they were using like Nefertiti.
There is Nefertiti. Nefertiti is the new NFT project in the Hyperledger Labs. So to OX connect to Nefertiti. Look for Nefertiti in the wiki page of Hyperledger.
So I read that question as the Saurav, I guess that's Saurav. I read it as Saurav, right? So maybe he's interested in knowing, is March 1st the deadline? So as we said earlier in the call, we are going to extend the timeline for ideation phase. The last due date is going to be 15th. However, having said that, we will start evaluation from March 1st itself. So for all the submissions that happen so far, evaluations will begin on March 1st. And for the submissions that do happen between March 1st and 15th, they will happen as they are being proposed.
Okay, perfect. Looks like Mohan has a question about how to reach out for being a mentor or mentor assistant. And realistically, we're talking about the form. And maybe if you want to just post the link in the chat. And Mohan, I see you came off mute. If you want to just ask that question directly.
Yeah, actually, I saw the link. Maybe I can go there and add my name. But the thing is, I don't see my expertise in this list. I have the background in software development, but also in network security, networking, those kind of areas, but I don't see those things in the list. So I'm wondering how I can contribute here as a mentor or mentee or whichever way it is. Hello?
Yeah, no,
Right.
we got that.
Yeah.
I would just say, you
Uh-huh.
know, everyone's welcome to be a contributor, and it's just a
Mhm.
function of, would you rather help on the mentor side of the equation or the mentee side of the equation?
Mhm.
And just, you know, express your interest there. And if there's a good fit with one of the teams that are either being the mentor team or the mentee team.
Okay, okay.
So Mohan, maybe for you, the best option would be all our proposals are open, available for anybody to review, right? So if you go to submission page, you can actually see all the submissions done so far. So I would strongly recommend that you go there and look through those proposals and see if you can, through those ideas, if you can, if you think that you can be value add for any of those projects, and if you tell us that you can be value add to any of them, we are happy to connect you with the teams, the submitters.
Oh, okay, okay. I can do that one. Yeah. Thanks, Arun.
Okay, Alfonso, do you see anyone else who's raised their hand about the mentor side?
Let's see. No, I'm not in the screen. I'm looking in the chat.
Okay, it looks like there was a question posed to Arun in the chat there. He kind of wants to follow up with Arun. And
I guess in case you want to revise your proposal until 15th March, please make a note in your proposal itself that you're planning to revise it and probably mark an expected date by when we can start submitting that to evaluation committee. That will indicate us that you're still in progress. We will wait till the last date that you mentioned in the proposal. And then onwards, we probably are going to submit what you have already put up.
There's another question from Durha about a token-based project to reward works for not driving. All ideas are welcome. Okay.
Right. So that's one of the things that we want to avoid telling, like, hey, you have to work on this particular problem statement or that one. We want to keep it open to you. If you think your idea or your project proposal is a value add to the community, you're welcome to propose it.
perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and move over to the mentee side of the equation. We have about 10 minutes left in the presentation here. So maybe if you want to go ahead and raise your hand if you're interested in being a mentee, and what types of projects that you may be interested in undertaking for the project itself. So Alfonso, if you see hands raised up, maybe you'll
Yes, admin.
call out to them.
Admin?
Admin, go ahead and
Hi. I don't know why it says admin. It should say Martin O'Shield. My apologies, everybody. So yes, I'm Martin O'Shield, Windy City SDR. We're based here in Chicago. We were selected in 2016 to be part of the IBM Global Entrepreneur Program in San Francisco. And ever since then, we've been part of the IBM Watson Build program in 2017, 2018, and 2019. Our biggest concern at this point is in 2018 and 2019 as being part of the IBM Watson Build program. None of the APIs worked in order to try and come up with a solution or a product or whatever. Yes, I see you laughing there. So that was one of the biggest problems that I had when I was part of that. But what I stuck in the chat earlier, if you scroll all the way to the beginning of the chat, I packaged up what I call create IBM blockchain software-defined radio financial networks. Essentially, it's a Hyperledger framework that we could use with the software-defined radio, so it can create wireless blockchain IBM Hyperledger networks. So that's something I would prospectively be interested in trying to include in this year's challenge. And if you look at the tweet, I must have gotten like 30,000 views, and a majority of the likes were from IBM Bank and IBMers themselves. So that's one of the things I would like to try and see if I can add as a challenge for this 2022 IBM Hyperledger Challenge, and I'll mute myself.
Fine. Just be explicit about how you connect to any of the Hyperledger resources, and you're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we have other hands raised about wanting to be a mentee in the program here?
Durha?
Durha? Go ahead, Durha.
Daniel. It's Daniel, actually.
Well,
Go ahead.
I don't know how to change it. That's the problem, which is why I want to be a mentee, because I'm not a developer. Kind of new. This stuff's kind of new to me, but I think my project's very interesting. And I like that this Hyperledger challenge is taking place, so I can try to move it forward. I'm not a developer. I think I would like to have somebody mentor me through the process of, how to go about creating tokens. My project's based on transportation, so I want to reward people for not driving using the token platform.
I would suggest something that there's a site that you should look into. It's a Dutch site, 2 tokens, number 2 tokens, okay? And they have great awareness products for tokens and a token roadmap that helps you understand for the Dutch and the European case what creating a token means. Okay, I'm going to put it in the chat. Yeah, but that's one recommendation I have for you.
Okay, with that information, would I still be able to do something like what you guys are offering through the challenge?
That is a place where you can learn about tokens.
Okay.
And once you've seen it, then your ideas about how to use what you've seen might flow better.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, do we have any other hands raised around the mentee side of this, Alfonso?
Yes. Now I don't know if it's a name that I don't know how to pronounce or it's an acronym
I guess it's OX that Saurav has added before his name. So it should be Saurav.
OX.
Okay, great.
Right.
Thanks for joining.
Also, John, Arun, thank you guys. This is very good. I was able to listen through most of it. In fact, I had reached out to Arun earlier because I was trying to sign up, but I figured out I couldn't do it. So today I'm able to do it. Now, briefly, what I wanted to ask is, and put this idea is, I'm trying to solve the problem of identity and verification, especially for gig working community. And the reason to do that is because they are in any company, for example, the Amazons and the delivery guys, these companies, they hire them in huge numbers, and in many countries there's not enough paperwork which is done for them, so their employment histories are not recognized in the most formal way. And my idea to do that is make it very easy for these companies to do that by issuing NFTs, which again, it makes it very interesting because of the form factor it has. So people can get this kind of cool identity cards minted as NFTs or something of those sorts. And because it's issued on blockchain now, any guy or individual who shows up at your door with a package for delivery, you can just query that ID or an NFT number or something, token ID, and actually verify that that person is genuine without having to go to the HR or employment records of that company who's hired them, right? So it solves couple of problems, and that is what I wanted to do. And I know between in Hyperledger there are several tools to do that. I mean, Aries is out there, Indy has been there for a long time, and now I just saw that NFT resources are coming up. So that's where this is the idea, and I want to see through advice and input from the experts out there what will be the best combination of tools I can use to actually implement this project.
You can also look, there's a new series of workshops that Hyperledger Foundation has, related to special interest groups or working groups. And there were 2 workshops in the past month or month and a half. One about indies and the other one about areas. And it was great. It was a great way of learning about the framework, but also learning about applications, mainly about the British Columbia guys. So I would recommend, and I would recommend everyone. Just I know it's like trying to drink water from a fire hose, but go to the YouTube channel of Hyperledger, and if you can manage it, there's plenty of tutorials, resources, meetups. Now it's a fire hydrant, I know. Now it's difficult to drink water from a fire hydrant.
Thank you. Thank you.
Francisco.
Hi, yes. The other day, to make it short, wanted to volunteer with a nonprofit organization based in Massachusetts about helping refugees in Syria, and they wanted to implement blockchain and start using that for their platform. And as I was diving into Hyperledger and Ursa and Indie, I realized it's just very overwhelming. So I'd really like to see if I can get a mentor here, if I could become a mentee here.
Yes, let me just give you. Oh, I can't find it. Sorry, but there is an NGO that has exactly a huge repository of blockchain for good and blockchain for social impact. I'm not finding it. I can't do. Sorry, I'm from an old version of a gender that cannot do 2 things at the same time. You young guys are better wired than myself. I can look at it later and mail it or Discord it to you.
So Francisco, I guess that's a great question. And in terms of help to get the mentorship for that idea, I'm sure we can help you once you propose your idea, right? And in terms of what Alfonso just mentioned, can you please follow up that on Discord, where we will be happy to help you further.
Sounds good. I'll submit all the white paper and the proposal that I have. Thank you.
Okay, we're coming up on the top of the hour. Are there any other final questions from the mentee side that we would like to touch base on, or are we ready to wrap the session? And I'm just going to look carefully here. It looks like the only hands were Francisco, which we already did that, and Durha, which was Daniel. Francisco, you have any other comments you want to make here?
That was it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. Looks like we have Al Fahami. Do you want to go ahead and ask your question here?
Okay. Hello, everybody. First, I want to thank everyone participating list for the clear interventions. I have just one question, because I'm a student. Actually, I'm a developer, and I've came across Fabric, and I had to develop an application that puts certificate papers from school or universities into the blockchain. And I may not have the ideas or strong ideas to participate in the challenge, but how can I, for example, join a team of developers and work on a given project?
Okay, Andrea or Arun, you want to tackle that one?
Sure, I can go with that. So, Alfami, I guess at present we don't have a nomination statement where you can express your interest. However, since we have opened up the Discord channel, right? So please put yourself there and say that you're available as a developer. And if any other teams are also looking for developers, they can directly approach you. And if you have expressed your interest to us, and if we notify, I mean, if it gets notified to us, there are multiple ways you can notify that to us, right? So there is a contact us form in the website. That's one way of telling us that you are available. There is a Discord channel where you can say that you are available for development. And if we come to know that we have interested people who are developers, we will assist them and get you connected to some of the other submissions who are looking for team members. So that will happen
Okay, thank you very much.
before the prototype phase.
Okay, anyone else have any remaining questions? Otherwise, we're going to bring the session to a close. We're 4 minutes over time now.
I put the link to the Positive Blockchain
Great. Thank you
database for social impact.
Okay, well, I really want to thank Alfonso, Arun, and Andrea for joining us for the session today. And we should have all the information out there. Please join us on Discord. That'll be the main communication framework going forward. And thanks to everyone for taking time to join our session today.
Yes. Thank you, John, for making it possible. We appreciate that.
Everybody.
Yep. Have a wonderful day, everyone.